And tonight is a very special night. I wasn't sure whether I'd be even here. And I'm really glad that I am here. But I'm even more glad that all of you are here, because this is really what I envisaged, and it's what I wanted to have. I wanted to be able to see the people that I'd made a huge journey with, who had added so much to my life. I know tonight you're all saying that I've added to your life, but you've added to my life. You've given me an opportunity to have enjoyed a life that's been full, energetic, certainly interesting, certainly colourful, certainly media-filled, some highs, some lows, some really true stories that you heard before. Some I'm proud of, some I'm not so proud of, but they're all true. And one way or another, they all depicted who I was, so I have to accept that. I am passionate. Stupidly, I'm so passionate that even this year I still offered to take back the Kings and do it all again. What kind of an idiot am I? Little did I know that I was carrying what I'm carrying, and I'm sorry to have to, share that with everybody. And, I must tell you that up until 2 or 3 months ago, I didn't feel at all bad. In fact, I felt fantastic. I felt healthier than I've ever felt. I felt energetic and full of life, and I was ready to kick ass and do it all again. No, not because I needed it, not because I wanted it, but because I wanted to see the Kings survive, and I didn't want to see it. It's like a child. You wanted to keep growing. So, anyway, it's given me that chance. But unfortunately, this has crept up on me. But I just want to share with you now that even today, I still don't believe them, and I still won't accept that the prognosis that they've given me is the prognosis that I've got. And I will be doing everything to fight it. And if we can have another bloody reunion, it'll be worth it. And if we can't, well, I just want to know that I've got absolutely no regrets. I've had a fabulous life. I've had 2 wonderful families. I've got 4 great children. And my wife, Shawn, has been a tower of strength to me, especially over the last few months, but over the last 16 years as well, as was my first wife, Cynthia. You saw I did a lot of things in my life, but none of those things could have happened without the ability of your family to give you the time and the support to be able to do that. You can only do that if you've got the backing of the people that love you, to encourage you and to support you. And, all the things that I've been able to achieve, the one great thing that I think was a positive, and there's obviously some negatives, was that I never did any of those things alone. The Maccabi experience for me taught me everything I knew to be able to put together what I did for the Kings. Not knowing, but it was in a voluntary capacity. I did it because I loved doing it. I loved working with kids. And I loved coming up with creative things that people said couldn't be done. And I always wanted to know, why the hell couldn't they be done? Of course we can do them. It's just a matter of inspiring enough people to want to do them with you. And if you can create the vision and paint the picture, then the people that come along for the ride, there might be a few bumps in the road, but in the end, that journey is just such a worthwhile journey. It's what it's all about. And then all of a sudden, if you succeed, it's just wonderful. If you fail, well, you open another door and try something else again. You just never give up until you try and make your dreams come true somehow or other. I never pretended to have the dream for the Kings. I didn't even know I'd be involved in the Kings or in professional sport. But once we had the opportunity of doing it, it just grew. And even there, again, I wasn't alone. I was surrounded by fantastic board of directors, and sometimes, as I said, there's some good things and some bad things with that. I obviously became the face and the voice of the organisation, and I made it very clear at the time that there had to be one leader and there had to be one way of doing things, and the people that got involved with me understood that. We shared everything equally, but there had to be some control, and in the end I didn't want to see a board break up just because there was going to be a lack of control or one person was just going to destroy everything. And for us, we were able to keep the organisation together with the same directors for 18 seasons and achieve a heck of a lot. And never at any time did I have to even use my control. It was either a matter of, if I couldn't convince the people around the table that it was the right way to go and the right thing to do, then it was obviously not the right thing to do, and therefore I didn't do it. And we were able to come up with fresh ideas and fresh concepts, and sometimes I look back and I think that we were creative beyond just the basketball and just beyond the marketing situation. I don't think that people will Kings and basketball left behind, and some of the people in the audience and some people that I know here who've been supporting the game even longer than me. And there's a man here today who I think deserves to be on this stage as well, as most probably the most underrated Australian player of all time, and that's Jeff Davies, who's here. Jeff, where are you? This man should have played for Australia, but because at the time in the 60s he just happened to be a great player and lived in Sydney, and the majority of everything that was happening was in Australia, he didn't really get his chance. And I know that people like Brad Dalton and others had to go down to Melbourne to try and get their chance to make the Australian team, because we just weren't the power that we should have been in the Sydney landscape. But Jeff was at school with me at Randwick Boys High, and I can't remember whether we called him the gorilla, but this guy had the longest arms, and he could do things I've never seen anybody do in a basketball court. It was just amazing. So it's a guy that I think should have played for Australia but never did. He was extremely talented, but he's here tonight, and it's great to have someone going back to 1960 and to know that you're here. So thank you, Jeff. See, it just goes to show you put a microphone in front of me and I'm trying again. That's all I was missing. So, I just want a few little things that have stuck in my mind, of things that we came up with around that board table that changed the way we operated and the way we did things. It was so important for us to focus on sponsorship, because we understood that basketball wasn't going to have it easy. We weren't going to have any handouts. Nobody was going to be standing there from the government giving us money. It had to be a change of attitude. And our change of attitude really was that we got rid of sponsorship and we started doing sports business. You want to work with us, we'll do sports business. You give us money, we'll give you value for money. We'll give you entertainment, we'll give you marketing, we'll give you the players, we'll give you promotions, we'll give you everything to promote your brand in the schools and in the marketplace. You are not giving us anything for nothing. And as soon as we established that we had a value and that we were worth something, then all of a sudden everybody looked at us differently. And that's where we became professional. And we also became the first sport that changed professionalism in Australia, because up until basketball, no sports people were fully paid professionals. They all had other jobs, they had other things to do. And for me, their other job was to go to the schools